So in the last video, I told you that I made some mistakes with this van, and we're going to rectify a couple of them today. And the main issue with this is, I'm on LPG, and underslung tanks, fill-up points, big LPG gas tanks are a thing of the past. I've held on to the dual fuel thing, saying, well, if one thing goes down, I can use the other, and I like having multiple options. However, I found myself using my Ridge Monkey outside, cooking on the fire, or using my George Foreman in here. So this thing that's hard to clean, hard to get fuel for, is an absolute faff in general, is going. So as you can see on here, we've got the gas rings up here. It's one of the pains of my life because everywhere I go is dusty, dirty, you know, it attracts muck. Even when you've not used the bloody rings, you've got to take them all to bits and clean them. However, the induction hob itself is perfectly flat, so it's easy to clean. This might be a little thing to some people, but these vans, you just give them a stern look and they get mucky. The only issue that I had is I couldn't get the exact same size like for like. What I looked for on eBay, I got this from eBay, is that was 2,900 watts. I have a 3,000 watt Renogy inverter, so that's more than capable of running this. The other thing that I looked for is that it was going to fit in this cutout. There was a slight change, so we might have to take a little bit of material out one way, and it's a little bit shy of having as much lip to sit on the other way. But we can only work with what we've got. If that doesn't work, because the cupboard door did nothing but do my head in off-road, slamming, rattling and all the rest of it, I took that off and I paid £100 for that bamboo door extra on top of the build cost. So I still have that piece of material that I refuse to throw away. That could replace this, need be. So by doing that, that removes the gas side of the cooking. The only thing we need then is hot water. So hot water for the sink that's right next to the cooker can be done off the kettle, or it can be done through the coffee machine, both electric. The other thing that we're going to do, and this is multifunctional, and I'm actually quite excited about this, how sad, and because this is a low roof, I use the toilet as a toilet, not as a shower. The back of the van is the shower area, or under the awning is a shower area. I'm having a screen made for the back door, so as I open both back doors up, there's a big screen, because I'm a big lad. And basically, what this unit's going to do is this is going to sit in the boot. It's going to drop into a water source, whether it be the water tank or bucket, the lifesaver, out of a river, whatever. And then it's going to have a shower head on. This has got its own built-in battery. It's got its own pump, and it runs off gas cartridges, which means no gas tank, no LPG tank, no underslung tanks, no tanks of any kind. It's the same cartridges that run the Ridge Monkey, which are cheap as chips. They're like 6 for 20 quid or something daft. And it doesn't even use many of them. This is ideal. This can also be taken from this vehicle into anybody else's vehicle, into my trailer, wherever I want for hot water. Game changer, because if you follow the channel for long enough and you'll have seen the Land Rover, I did have the dual Casal one, and I know there'll be someone already typing away, oh, get a dual, but that did require me to have the big LPG gas tanks, because you can't get the little ones anymore. Obviously on the review channel itself, in the description box and probably top comment, there will be a run through of that shower unit as well. So worktop extension out, cutlery drawer out, I see, it is these things. If you ever asked, this is how I learned to do that thing with my fingers. Right, last corner out. This cupboard's got 6 kids and ready to settle down by the fact that I'm shoulder deep in it. Alright. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Right, so what I'd forgot about this one is it's not actually latches underneath, it's 4 threaded screws, and the worktop is actually perfectly cut out for it. So is the gas pipe going to be a pain? And there'll be people moaning, going, oh, it's supposed to be a solid pipe. It's like, well, I off-road and I didn't want solid. There we go. Gas removed. This might end up in the Land Rover before it gets sold, actually, because this is actually a really nice worktop. Right, let's see how far off this is. because I can't remember. I did some mad research online weeks ago, ordered the thing, it turned up, and yeah, it's what it is. We have the plug that might even be long enough to reach the inverter, but I'm going to put a double socket under the worktop anyway, just to be sure. That's going to go disappear off in that direction, but I can't remember which measurement was slightly out. So, looking at this, we need to take the tabs out where the gas one bolted through. It's looking like it's just the length that needs making wider, and the width will be okay. Basically, this is where the old one, it went down through and wing nut on here. The new one just sits on top and it has bits that grab from the bottom, like so. So there's a lot of so's going on. Let's play the so drinking game. We'll take these out, we'll see where it sits and go from there. Like I say, I'm not expecting this to fit first time, but this gives us the clearance to actually have a look. It fit first time. Right, so all I need to do now is sand that off, get my linseed oil or whatever it was that I used to do, and we can bolt that in. Tony came out with a blinding idea as well, because this has got less surface area touching under, so it's got connection all on the front and across the sides, but it's a little bit narrow just in the middle here. And he came out with a blinding idea of fitting the I forgot what you call these, dark brown assembly joints, but essentially just to reinforce just under the middle bit in case any idiot, you know, pushes themselves up on something they shouldn't push themselves up on, or does something really, really strange. And then over the top of all that, there will be a foam seal. Happy day, that already looks so much smarter, so much neater. I'm just happy that that's a flat surface to wipe down and it's not got little knob things that I've got to take to bits and clean. We've put the little foam seal on all the way across here, which is nice. And now I'm trying to get my sausage fingers to get these little screws in. The only thing that I can see being an issue is I'm assuming this is more of a domestic one and it's made for a thicker worktop. So we're going to screw this in and make sure that it actually nips. If not, it's not the end of the world, because the little spacers that we've already installed for the width, we can also put the same again in underneath for the depth to make sure it actually bolts up nice and tight. So there you go, top tip is make sure you don't throw anything away when you're making other projects.
Nice.
Wow, it's just hooked straight on. That'll ding dang do. I'm going to just trim a little bit of that foam there, but she's in. Get that there. Clip this back in and everything still fits. And ironically, the gas hob itself, I think they're about 250 quid. This was, I think it was 89 quid off of eBay. So it's also phenomenally cheaper and smarter to use. So for the hot water system, I'm going to have to alter a few little bits around in my cupboards in the back and whatnot, and I want the thermal blind to go above the bed. But this is going to sit just inside the back door now. Basically what this unit does, I know this is a portable power and it's meant to be more portable than what I'm going to use it for most of the time, but this works with the gas cartridges, so I'm not lugging the LPG like I've said before. It's got its own board battery, so all you've got to do, charge it up. That's got electric there, and then you've got your temperature here. It is that simple. You've got a display on the front of it that tells you your temperature, but what I'm more interested in is in the back here. So these are silicone hoses, which they feel different, but it's, yes, they're flexible, but it's more for heat and everything. This doesn't come with it. This is from Moss Adventure Vans, but basically this is for demonstration purposes only. Is I'm going to somehow mount that so it goes like that on the shower. This little bit here is your submersion pump. So what I'm thinking is, I'm just going to drop this straight into my water tank that's in the boot, straight in. However, you can drop this into the lifesaver, you can drop it into a bucket, you can drop it into a river if you wanted to. That's the beauty of this. And then, wait there, 1 second. These gas cartridges that used to be expensive are now dirt cheap. Or has everything in the world gone up? I can't tell. Basically, move this out of the way. This screws on here, like so. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to do this now. And drop the submersible pump in. Like I say, that can be a river or anything. Turn this on. Right. Start to turn the temperature on. Boiler kicks in. That's warm already. That is, oh, that's too warm. You can see the steam coming off that, and it's not a cold day. So we're going to turn that down. That is frigging phenomenal. So let's see what this goes up to max. Turn it on again. We're at 17 degrees. Boiler kicks in. 27, 38, 49, 55, 59, too hot, 61. I can make a brew out of this. So that's 63, which that's hotter than the hot thing. So I'm going to turn that down to about halfway. As well as that, you've also got that little switch there. Boilers kick back in again. All the faffing about I've done over the years, and someone's just made something that easy. Right, still too hot again. Let's turn that down. This is actually going to be really handy for the dog walks when they've been on the beach and stuff. What I will do, I'm not going to go on about this too much because, like I say, down below there'll be the full review of this. There, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That is a hot shower. That is the option for the hot water system. I am saving the entire under seat of that second row of seats now. So I'm going to put some drawers and things like that so I can get all my clothes in. But that was, literally, the Truman boiler is that big, by that big, by that big. That's gone. I've replaced with that in the boot. An induction hob. We're on the next level now. We're winning. We're winning. The only thing that I might do is Liam at the Adams Overland. He's got, I think it's called a Bovril hot water boiler or something like that. It's a little 12 litre thing that works on electric. I may fit one of them to the back, so when I'm driving and I've got a surplus of energy, I can hit that, the electrode goes into it, heats it up to a good temperature, so when you rock up you can then have a shower out of that. That would be nice, but realistically that's just the 2 is 1 is none kind of mentality, isn't it? This now has replaced that, and this will go everywhere with me as another item that I didn't need until I've got one, and now I can't be without it.